Good evening and welcome to Stephen Leeson Show, brought to you live from the Scientology Community Centre here in Dublin.
Well, all I can say is it's absolutely fantastic to have Stephen back with us this evening. We really missed him.
I missed you too when I was away gigging and on holiday and the whole lot.
He didn't, don't mind him.
And thank Angel for looking after the show when I was away and everybody else, of course.
And
Asha, thanks for covering for me. Well, folks, we're delighted to welcome the band Illegal Smile back to the show. They are 5 of the country's finest musicians who play music written and performed by such great artists as John Prine, Glenn Campbell and the Eagles. They've recently played in Dublin, Belfast, Portaferry and Westport, and we'll be interviewing band leader Barry Johnson later on. But for now, please welcome Illegal Smile.
Hi, it's wonderful to be back in Dublin. We're going to do a John Prine song as our first introduction. It's a song called The Speed of the Sound of Loneliness. You come home late, you come home early. Come home big when you're feeling small. You come home straight, you come home curly. Sometimes you don't come home at all. What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? Broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. I got a heart that burns with a fever. I got a worried and a jealous mind. How can a love that'll last forever be getting left so far behind? What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. It's a mighty mean and a dreadful sorrow. It's crossed that evil line today. How can you ask about tomorrow? We ain't got one word to say. What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? Broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. What in heaven's name have you done? Broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? Broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. Out there running just to be on the run. Out there running just to be on the run.
The next song we're going to do is another song by John Prine, because who doesn't want more? This is a song that was written by John Prine when he was a young man in his 20s, and it came from a character that he had built in his mind of a middle-aged woman who felt much older than she actually was, because she felt so trapped in her house, in her marriage, and basically in her life, and all she was wishing for was someone to come and take her away. It's called Angel from Montgomery. I am an old woman named after my mother. My old man is another child that's grown old. If dreams were thunder and lightning desire, this old house would have burnt down a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. A young girl, I had me a cowboy. You weren't much to look at, just a free rambling man. There was a long time, no matter how hard I try. The years keep on going by like a broken down dam. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. There's flies in the kitchen, I can hear them buzzing. I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. Well, how the hell can a person go to work in the morning, come home in the evening, and have nothing to say? Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go.
And the third song is another John Prine song. It's one that we took on quite recently, and it's called The Same Thing Happened to Me. Moonlight shining on the back of my hand. A cat fight rattle in a garbage can. It looks like someone chased you up a tree. The same thing happened to me. Wild wind blowing down the back of my shirt. Old man sitting on a bench in the dirt. Seems that another ship has gone to sea. The same thing happened to me. You shine, someone's got to tell you the news. A fine line separates the boy from the blues. It looks like you could use some company. The same thing happened to me. Running just as fast as I can. Someone take a hold of my hand. Looks like something chased you up a tree. The same thing happened to me. The same thing happened to me. The same thing happened to me.
Oh, brilliant. What about it? Still go back to even the first song that they started off with, The Speed of the Sound of Loneliness. For me, it brings back memories. I love John Prine, and my dad used to sing that song. What do you think?
It's one of my favourite songs, actually.
It's a cool one, isn't it?
It's one I've never sung.
It's one.
Have you sung it before?
No, I haven't actually. No,
No.
It's one I have to learn though.
Yeah.
We'll both learn it. We'll do a duet now.
That famous duet.
I think the guys sang that. I think they sang that the last time they were on the show as well. If I'm right, I'm not right. Anyway, welcome.
Thank you very
Brian,
much for
great
having
to
us
have
again.
you here,
It's
Brian.
Delighted to be here in Dublin.
It's great to have you again. Thanks for coming back to us.
Welcome.
Just like to ask you about Illegal Smile. So obviously you formed it in April 2020, and you named it obviously after a John Prine song. So could you tell us about that?
Yeah, I've been doing John Prine's work for many, many years, a couple of decades in fact, but unfortunately when John died, as tragedy through COVID-19, I decided by way of celebrating his music to put together a band, and I sought out and found the best musicians I could throughout the country. So we've been touring the John Prine Celebration Show throughout Ireland, and we've several gigs behind us in Dublin and Belfast, and we've more to do in Castlebar and in Bray and in Greystone, so all over the country. I'm looking forward to it.
And what was the route to John Prine originally?
The route really started off when I started playing music. I was heavily influenced by Irish folk music, so I would have really listened to the like of Paul Brady, Andy Irvine, Planxty, Christy Moore, the Dubliners, all those things.
I didn't know you were into all the same music
Oh,
as me.
absolutely,
I love all
absolutely.
the folk and
Yeah,
ballads and all that,
and
yeah.
love to go back to it
Yeah.
every now and again. It's a pleasure.
It's some change then as well, isn't it? Like, you know,
Well, it's been a musical journey, Stephen.
Yeah.
So it's been fantastic.
it's great to be able to just like switch to a different genre of music if that's what you're playing before though. Like, it's like great. It's almost a talent to be able to just do that. Like, you know.
Well, from a commercial musician's point of view, you have to be able to play as you know yourself. You have to be able to play as many different genres.
All about the money.
So we've come through
The love of
from
it.
Absolutely.
Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd to on a journey. My two favourite artists, I have to say, would be John Prine and the late great Guy Clark from Texas.
Right.
And again, they're singer-songwriters, and it's really poetry put to music, and it's beautiful, and it's supported by this fantastic music that goes alongside it.
Because you did actually start off with Irish folk in the beginning. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so that sort of brought me from my sort of early teens, learning to play the guitar through my brother when I was a child, and then coming up and playing just Irish folk, which was a big thing then. I'll not give away my age, but it was a really big thing. And there was like a resurrection and a different, when the like of Planxty came along, there was a different direction taken for Irish traditional music and Irish folk music. So it was very enjoyable going as a young person to see the Dubliners
Do you have a
in the
favourite
Ulster Hall
song
in
in folk?
Belfast.
Do you have a favourite song in folk?
Of folk, I really like Paul Brady, and I like things like the Homes of Donegal.
Lovely.
That would be one that I would do. The Island would be another
Oh, that's a
one.
classic,
Mary and the
yeah.
Soldier. There's
Yeah.
just, it could go
Yeah,
on and
this
on
is-
and
yeah.
on.
Do you sing anything?
No, I don't
No?
actually, no. And I'm a Paul Brady
Yeah.
fan as well, because I think I never learned some of his stuff, because some of his stuff is so complex, and just like I just never thought I'd be able to pull it off as well.
Yeah.
And his voice is so distinct as well. Like, you
Yeah,
know.
well, Arthur McBride would be
Ah,
another
even
particular
that, like, you
favourite.
know.
So.
Yeah. And tell us about the lineup that you have with today.
The
and
lineup
the backgrounds
are
and-
definitely amongst the best musicians I've come across, and we've played with each other on and off for many years. So on drums we have tonight from Dundalk and County Louth, Michael Conway. We have from County Down, dapping with us tonight on bass very kindly. Unfortunately, our bass player went through some major surgery there,
Oh,
so
sorry to
we've
hear.
the fantastic Eric Coleman, who's deputising for Davy Neal on bass tonight and doing a fantastic job.
Fair play to him.
We have Ali Mooney on female vocals, again from County Down, and from Belfast we have the fabulous Sam Davison on lead guitar.
Great lineup.
I think so.
You
Yeah.
sound incredible.
Thank you.
Sound like you're all gelled. Because
Yeah.
as musicians ourselves, we'd understand that. The gelling of musicians on stage is very, very important.
Yeah, I think being in a band, it's not just about how good you can play or how bad you can play. It's all about a relationship. and it has to sync in every way for you to be able to produce music to the highest levels.
Yeah.
It's like a family thing. It really is, isn't it? It's a family relationship when you're on the road gigging.
It is, to have no hassle, just to be able to go on and do the gig, and no, I suppose every band's going to have their bit of bickering maybe now, but then there's professionalism in it as well, isn't there? Like it's fair play to the bass player. Does he gig with you sometimes anyway? For him to be able to just jump in, like,
this was asked of Eric a few weeks back, and it's a big ask. We didn't want to turn you guys down in the date that you'd given us, so the only alternative was to ask somebody that we trusted. And he has certainly stood up to the plate, as one says.
Well, we definitely thank Eric, isn't it? Yeah.
Eric
we definitely thank you for Eric as well. We appreciate it as well. You're able to be here for it.
Tell us about the Americana Show.
Yeah, there's 3 shows that we do. The first one is obviously the John Prine Show, which is 2 hours of absolutely nothing but the John Prine. Then we have an Americana Show. Now that adds to the John Prine. It adds a little bit of Guy Clark, but it brings in Bruce Springsteen, it brings in Eagles, Leonard Skinner, Glenn Campbell, even John Denver, Garth Brooks. So anything that is American and is from the country genre, we will cover. Creedence Clearwater Revival. So that sort of sits in that. Willie Nelson, I'm a big fan of Willie Nelson. So that's show number 2. Show number 3 then is for the pubs and the clubs that we also
The Crowd
do.
Pleaser Show.
The Crowd
What a
Pleaser.
name. The Crowd Pleaser Show.
So
Good,
we add things like from the Cranberries. We will throw in Paul Brady. We'll throw in Neil Diamond. We'll do the whole norm.
Sweet Caroline in there now.
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
Of course.
You can't do a gig without Sweet Caroline.
You can't do it. And so that's the 3. The John Prine
I just
one.
hate when you get asked for Sweet Caroline at the start of the gig. Like, you know, it's like, come
Has to
on,
be the
man.
end.
Like, ask me when everyone's like drunk or something. Like, not the start of the gig. Like.
But I love that name, the Crowd Pleaser name. That's just the Crowd Pleaser Show. I'm sure there's a lot of bands wish they'd have thought
I
of
can
that.
relate to it, yeah.
Well done.
So in music, as you know yourselves, you have to cross those different levels. So the John Prine thing is very much a listening gig. It's a theatre gig, or in venues that specialise in that type, of listening audience.
Yeah.
The Americana gig is something similar, but then the Crowd Pleaser one, that gets everybody up and dancing and
Is there
everything.
favourites for you, like for different reasons? Obviously, there are 3 completely, yet kind of joined in somewhat, because I'm sure you crossed over on some of the songs.
Yeah, I think for me it has to be the theatre, where from a musician's point of view, it's really nice to be listened to, and I think that's a very important thing. And especially if it's good quality music and you've got a listening audience, there's nothing as nice as people appreciating what you do. So I would have to say that would be my.
I think the only
favourite.
way to explain this to punters out there who come and watch our shows. I remember somebody saying to me, the difference between a theatre show and a normal show, like maybe whether it's a bar gig or whatever, is nobody ever comes up and asks you where the toilets are. Because there's no doubt about it how many times have people come up when we're on stage.
Or can I charge my mobile phone?
Exactly,
Yeah. People don't tend to interrupt you in
I'm
the
sure
middle,
they don't do that.
Or while the singer's singing, they go up to one of the other
I
musicians
think
and try and ask a
we can
question
all
for a
tell. We
request.
can all tell the same or similar stories.
Definitely, they can all.
But I'll never forget that, because it was something I'd never thought about.
And you're leading the band, so are you also managing the band as well?
Yes.
So you're taking the
Yes,
bookings,
I think I sort of.
because there's a big difference between. We were actually only talking about it earlier, because I've played in a lot of theatres and that as well, as Angel has. But when you're booking theatres, and obviously it's a different gig, but it's a different way about even booking the gig.
Oh,
Because you've got to try and sell tickets.
It's a completely different
deals and
it's a
promoting
different thing
different.
altogether. Absolutely, you're dealing with. You're dealing with people who are buying tickets to come and see a show, so therefore there is a certain expectation, and you have to then step up and deliver to that expectation. That's not to say that you wouldn't deliver in the pub, but it's a different feel.
Oh, there's more drink
definitely,
in the bar as well.
Yeah,
I find the process takes a bit longer for obviously the promoting and stuff like that. That you for getting it ready as well, getting ready for it.
Does.
Like
It does.
There's
And,
more effort put in, but you're going to give the results at the end. So then people are going to get the results.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things that the more you do it, it's a bit like sort of getting fit, I suppose. You do all the sort of hard work and the build up to it, and then as you run through your shows, everybody starts to get into the way of it, and you get to a certain level with it.
Uh-huh.
Do you ever get butterflies?
Yes, tonight.
Gee, thanks.
No, it's one of those things that it's okay until somebody counts you down and says, the camera's about to go live. The first time we did our live stream at John Prine, so with the Cathedral Quarter Arts Festival in Belfast, was in the Black Box. And it's well named. When you're on stage, it is completely dark. You can't see the audience. But of course, with COVID, there was nobody there except the crew. And the crew then, when the lights went on, disappeared behind the lights. And there was nobody. So when you finished a song, there was nothing. And this is going out to North America
strange,
and all over the world. And it really caught me on the hop, where you were sort of, because you're expecting some sort of response.
Yeah.
And when we do our John Prine shows, it's one thing that I ask theatres to do, is to put the lights on slightly. I don't like playing to a dark house, because I want to see that I'm going to give you something, and hopefully then if I give you the right amount, that you'll give me something back.
Yeah.
And that's how we judge as the set progresses in the theatre. So that was a surreal experience.
Come here, I meant to ask you actually, since we last saw you, because you were promoting a gig as well, wasn't it in Monaghan you were doing a gig? How did it go?
Oh, it was a fantastic weekend of midnight sessions with Brian Riley and Michael Durkin. And it was that was the first time, this thing started off as a chat site on WhatsApp during the pandemic.
Uh-huh.
And that was the first time that all these people who had never met each other before actually got together in the Westenra Hotel, which is beautiful, in the centre of Monaghan town, and we had a weekend of the most fantastic music with people coming on stage. We had Mick O'Brien, for example, on pipes. We had Charlie McGettigan on whistle. We had such fantastic crack. So we did a bit of a sort of a formal show for them up until 11 o'clock, and then we retired, and everybody got instruments out, and there was all sorts of music going, mainly Irish folk, which was a pleasure for me to jump. It was a pleasure for me to jump back in and play with such talented people, and people from all over Ireland. And it was just a marvellous weekend.
I think even our producer Asha and the crew
indeed
arrived.
Indeed, they did indeed. And there's another one in the Ferryman in Dublin on the 9th of December. So that's another one to look out for, midnight sessions.
Yeah. I think I saved that in my calendar.
We'll have to do it all over again.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
What motivates you actually talking about doing it all over again?
I think what motivates me is being able to play with such quality musicians, and I think even when I do the odd little bit of teaching guitar, people ask me that question: how would I motivate myself? And I think take every opportunity you can to play with everybody of every standard that you can, because I would say you will learn something from everyone.
Oh, you do,
at the end of the day, and you'll pick up little bits here, and you've maybe heard a song, but when it's sang by somebody different, it pops your ear, and there's just something. It's hard to explain. Again, you both know what I'm talking about. It just, you could have heard it sang by the original artist, you maybe didn't like it, you hear it sung by somebody else, and all of a sudden that song just comes into your consciousness, and it stays within your head, and you're forced to learn it, and then play it, and then play it better, and do it the best that you can.
And lastly, before we finish with you this evening, so we can send you back to do what you're doing best, who has had the most influence in your life, and for your life, and also influence from music, do you think?
I think musically, as I've said, right at the start, Planxty, I think, changed the direction of Irish music tremendously. I think more than anybody had done up to that time. And I was sort of stuck between the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and Planxty, and I went for Planxty. And I look back with such fond memories of their music. So that was the first influence. Then the like of Paul Brady. Then moving up through I love Pink Floyd. I think I would play Pink Floyd till the cows come home. I think they're an absolutely fantastic band. Fleetwood Mac is another one. But then the singer-songwriters, I got my head into that. And definitely John Prine and Guy Clark. And Guy Clark is probably one of the most understated singer-songwriters to come out of Texas. Unfortunately, he died. We play a lot of songs by dead people.
Well, people become more famous when they're dead, is the way
I
it
tell
is,
you
isn't it?
something,
Like,
Stephen. I want to have a listen to your Spotify. You have that many
Yeah,
bands.
I'd
No,
be-
you
I'd be
you
like
think
that
of the
as well,
people
yeah.
that we've lost, Tom Petty, Prince, there's another one.
It's actually
You know,
hard to
Dolores
believe
O'Riordan.
that actually some of
You
them
know,
are-
some of
they're-
those people that we held so dear have gone.
Yeah.
Even Elvis. You've seen
Yeah.
his movie and you watch it, it's like, wow, what an act he was, I can tell you. And still is if you look at it. Still is.
Whitney Houston,
Yes,
Amy
yeah.
Winehouse, and sort of like some of the. Oh, it's unbelievable, like,
Should we keep rocking?
But come here, what's next for you?
We're up in Derry, stroke London Derry. Have to be very careful. We're up in Derry, stroke London Derry, in a fantastic intimate venue called Bennigan's on Saturday the 1st of October, and that puts us back on the road again for tours. We're in Bray in the Mermaid
Oh, you
Theatre
said that,
in
yeah.
Bray.
Not too far from me.
We're in the Hotspot in Greystones later on in the year. We have a fantastic night in Castlebar coming up in the Royal Theatre in Castlebar.
Lovely.
So really, I would encourage people to go on and have a look at our website, which is www.illegalsmile.co.uk, and it gives everything you need to know about us and everything you need to know about where the shows are and how to get tickets for the shows.
And also, then never forget the 3 band names, the 3 shows you have. Illegal Smile, they got all great names. Illegal
Yeah.
Smile, the Americana Show, and then what's the other one?
Crowd
Crowd
pleaser,
pleaser.
crowd pleaser.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks
you.
very much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on the show.
much.
And as Angel says, do you want to
Yeah.
go and do what you do best?
Thank you so much.
Yeah?
Thank you.
You take the stage. Brilliant. There we have it from Barry. What a great interview.
I have to say, I really, really enjoyed that.
The story is great when we're talking about being on the road. Like, imagine.
You couldn't tell half of them.
Sure, if the two of us got together talking about those kind of stories. But
We'll be here all night.
brilliant band, like,
Yeah, fantastic
and
musicians.
I was saying, all the theatres and that they're playing, it's great to see it happen, and it's great to see bands doing that, like, and taking that on, because it's not the most easiest thing to do.
Way to see us all
we're
getting
getting
back.
results, and we're getting results
Absolutely,
here tonight.
and thanks for coming.
So,
and back to Illegal Smile for some more music.
Thank you so much, folks, again for having us here in Dublin. This time we're going to look at a song written by Jimmy Webb and recorded by the fantastic Glenn Campbell, and it's called Wichita Lineman. I am a lineman for the county, and I ride the main road, searching in the sun for another overload. I hear you singing in the wire, and I hear you through the wire, and the Wichita lineman is still on the line. You know I need a short vacation, but it don't look like rain. And if it snows, that stretch down south won't ever stand the strain. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman is still on the line. and I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman is still on the line. On the line, doing fine. This time it's a song called Storm Windows, again by John Prine. Well, I can hear the wheels of automobiles so far away, just moving along in the drifting snow. Times like these when the temperature's free, I sit alone looking at the world through storm windows. Down on the beach, the Sandman sleeps. Time don't fly, it bounds and leaps. A country band who plays for keeps, they play it so slow. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. The spirits were high and the well ran dry. For so long, the raven at my window was always a crow. I bought the rights to the inside fights. I watched a man beating his hands against the storm windows. Miles away o'er hills and streams, a candle burns a witch's dreams. Silence is golden till it screams right through your bones. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. Storm windows, gee, I'm getting old. Storm windows, keep me from the cold. No storm windows, keep me from the cold. I can hear the wheels of automobiles so far away, moving along through the drifting snow. It's times like these when the temperatures freeze, I sit alone looking at the world through storm windows. Down on the beach, the Sandman sleeps. Time don't fly, it bounds and leaps. A country band who plays for keeps, they play it so slow. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. I'm going to finish off tonight with an Eagles song, probably one of their most famous ones. It's called Take It Easy. Well, I'm a running down a road trying to loosen my load. Got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna own me, 2 that wanna stone me, 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand and take it easy. Well, I'm standing on a corner, Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose or we may win, but we will never be here again. Open up, I'm climbing in, and take it easy, alright. Well, I'm a-running down the road trying to loosen my load. Got a world of trouble on my mind. Looking for a lover who won't blow the cover. She's so hard to find. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Come on, baby. Don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. Ooh, 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 ooh. You know we got it easy. You ought to take it easy.
Well, there's no doubt about it. If they're anything like us at home, myself and Stephen, what are we like?
Oh, I tell you, and even our stage manager, Tony,
Dancing
over there is dancing away
in
there.
our seats.
Folks, that is the
Well
reason why
done,
these
Tony.
guys are selling tickets. Get your tickets fast. They're absolutely amazing. Great sound, great band, great songs.
So there's nothing more to do. We've had a fantastic evening this evening. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Right.